Return of the Mount Hua Sect. Chapter 245. To give us this so generously. Will it be fine? What do you mean? Will it be fine like that? Following the words of Hyunjong, Hyunsang turned his gaze and looked at Chongmyung, stirring the pot with the 5-colored key behind him. How can I know? No one approached him. They couldn't say just good luck and leave after that. Although they were worried, they couldn't touch him as long as he was still in that trance. Even those who didn't know much about martial arts would be able to understand that something extraordinary was going on. As a result, even the 3 people who were exhausted were unable to leave the place. So they just sat there until the sun went down and rose again. The day is over. Right. Hyunjong looked at Chongmyung with trembling eyes. Something 3 men had to do. It can be done like this. It was a complicated and difficult task that required 2 elders and 1 hallhead. However, Chongmyung was able to maintain the supply of different amounts of ki, 1 for the pot and a different amount for stirring. He continued that for a full day. Even that alone was tough, but that wasn't the most surprising. The brilliance behind him. Ungak. No, medicine hallhead. Yes, sect leader. Is there any like that in meditation? A technique where one is able to give out brilliance? I've never heard of something like this before. Then what is the situation? How much longer will it take? Hyunjong, who was perplexedly looking at Chongmyung, opened his mouth as if he too had become possessed. What? How much more does he need to stir? Not much left now. Obviously, we have done enough, so at most another hour or so. Is there any way to know when it is over? I don't know. Hyunjong clenched his fists and looked at Chongmyung with earnest eyes. I should have known. He was someone who had to know. Now, Chongmyung was probably going into a realm they couldn't understand. It was enough to guess the extent of it from his possessed eyes and the 5-colored light around him. Chongmyung, just hold on a little more. As Hyunjong supported him earnestly, Ungak became wide-eyed when he spotted something. Why? Look at that! There! Ungak reached out and pointed to the pot. What is that? The Hyung disciples were all shocked, their gaze focused on the pot. Swish! There was a faint 5-colored light shining from the pot. The light continued to grow stronger and stronger and soon filled the entire hall, hurting their eyes in the process. When Hyunjong closed his eyes, he tried to readjust his senses. What is the smell? There was a deep scent in the air now. It was a strong one, but it was definitely the same smell that had spread when he opened the box containing the soul vitality pills. No, already! The 3 people jumped to their feet at the same time. Their unwavering gaze was fixed on Chongmyung and the glowing pot. Meanwhile, Chongmyung had no idea of what was happening. He was concentrating completely. Harmony. Yaksun was indeed a great person. Not a single ingredient inside the pill was ordinary. Each of them had perfect harmony with the other. Among the many herbs in the world, he would only choose the ones that had the most perfect synchronization. The strength of the pot and the spatula's constant turning that boosted the ki in the herbs. The job of any pill maker was to create perfect harmony. So, insert ki for 10 full days. It couldn't be put in any other way than that. How many people in the world could understand the phrase perfect harmony of ki? It was very difficult to convey this in writing, and if they were someone who didn't have an intent to listen, it would only make it even tougher. In the end, this was the easiest method Yaksun could come up with after much thought. He made it so that anyone who inherited the secret to his pill would have to follow this. Even if the level was a little lower than the original one, it was still worthwhile. But fortunately or unfortunately, it was Chongmyung who had managed to find out its secret. He was a person who had surpassed even his previous life's understandings. Therefore, he was able to go one step further from the original recipe of yaksun. He did it just by infusing his ki into the pot. The purest ki in the world, the ki that embraced the spirit of Taoism. He mixed it with the ki of the soul vitality pill and combined them harmoniously. That is why this is called the soul vitality pill. The vitality of the soul. With the world and the universe as one, different things came together to form the world, and furthermore, the universe. In this pot, there was a world that Yaksun had dreamed of. A world of harmony and vitality. A world where everyone wasn't tangled in fights. Although Chongmyung didn't agree with Yaksun's thoughts, he couldn't help but respect this man's tenacity and will to project his will into his creation. Yaksun and the vitality of the soul. Chongmyung began to sweat. The heat of the pot slowly subsided. Little by little, that cold air that had been condensed slowly became hotter and turned into water. The ki that flowed through the ground. The ki of earth that grew and embraced everything. There was also the ki of wood, which was the foundation for growth. From there, he could also feel the ki of metal, the ki of gold, water, fire, wood, gold, and earth. The 5 elements. That, in itself, was the foundation of the world. This was the true harmony that Yaksun sought after. Into this, Chongmyung added one more thing. The path of Tao. He made a path in the world of Yaksun. The world exists, and a path was where one had to walk on. The length they would walk depend on the will of the person. After all, in the end, everything depends on the human heart. Adding the spirit of Taoist, Chongmyung added one more element to the original 5, and it mixed with the elements of the world. The ki was rejected many times, but he just pushed it again. The ki from the path of Tao fought to be embraced by them and began to swirl. The world was like this: acceptance, comprehension, and integration. There was a world inside this. The world that Yaksun had dreamed of turned into a world that Chongmyung dreamed of. But would that be fine? It would be fine. That was what the world was like. It remained to be the world, regardless of whether things change or they don't. Whatever form it takes, it would be the world. Chongmyung opened his eyes. Pushing out every last bit of ki inside him, he removed his hand from the pot and grabbed the spatula. The ki began to disperse immediately. The 5 elements and the aura behind him also began to vanish, and finally, whoosh, the brilliant 5-color light, which had been shining until then, merged into one, into a soft purple color. It wasn't dazzling, but was a soft color. Chongmyung looked at it as if he was possessed and took a step back with the spatula still in his hand. Clack! The spatula fell down as his grip eased on it. Chongmyung looked at what he had created, unaware of that fact. Chongmyung! Chongmyung? Soon, Chongmyung turned his blank face in the direction of the sounds. Behind him, the elders and Eungeok had faces that seemed to have stopped breathing in tension. Hyunjong gulped, and he asked, how did it go? Chongmyung looked at them, and then at the pot. Should he answer honestly? Well, the pills seem to have failed. Hyunjong died a little inside when he heard that. Unable to bear it, Hyunsang asked, Failed? Such intense light came out from a failure. Hyunyoung also spoke up, unable to understand what had happened. What is this? Explain! Quiet! However, Hyunjong stopped him from acting recklessly with a heavy voice. The elders, who were about to shout, went silent. Hyunjong, who looked at Chongmyung without a word, smiled. That is upsetting, but it is something we can try again. It will take some time, but don't rush because of it. You have done so much already, so don't worry. Seeing that, Chungmyeong smiled. As expected, you're a great guy. Failure. No one in the world would be able to recover from this word quickly, but Hyunjong regained his composure in just a couple of minutes, and he was more concerned about Chungmyeong being disappointed and tried to console him. That's why you're the sect leader. This is what it meant to be a Taoist. I'm glad that you're the sect leader of Mount Hua. Chungmyeong, who thought that, continued. The soul vitality pill is a failure. Right, it is, but it seems like Chungmyeong turned to the pot that was still giving out a purple light and said, What should I call it? Right, it has to be that. I think I made the heavenly violet pill. The heavenly violet pill. The heavenly violet pill was known to be an extraordinary pill of the past. However, the making of it was something that had been lost when the demonic sect invaded the land. And now, this child was saying he made it. Chungmyeong smiled and continued. I am not saying I made the heavenly violet pill of Mount Hua, but this isn't the soul vitality pill either. This pill was different from what Yaksun wanted. This was the world Chungmyeong wanted. Since the key is a little bit more compared to the soul vitality pill, it can be called the heavenly violet pill. Hyunjong's eyes trembled. What did he say now? More? Yes. You are saying it went further than the original. Chungmyeong shrugged his shoulders. Yes. I see. Yes. Chungmyeong smiled. It is a success. The elders looked at each other. As if in disbelief, Eungak went close to the pot. And after a while, soul vitality pill! No, heavenly violet pill! My eyes! I saw it with my eyes! The previously dying elders all ran to the pot and stuck their heads in to confirm it. Oh! Hyunyoung, who saw the purple light, turned to Eungak and said, This isn't a pill. No, it is a pill. But it looks like a lump. This has to be made into a round shape and dried. Then it turns into pills. Elder, we succeeded! We succeeded? Yes, right, we succeeded. You will never smell this anywhere else. It is the first time I've seen a pill give out such light. If it isn't the pill, then what else can it be? Hyunyoung looked at the pot and then at Eungak and Chungmyeong, unable to believe it. And then... You goblin! As if he had nothing to think about, he ran and hugged Chungmyeong. It hurts! Wait! You bastard! Making a ton of shit! What do you want to eat, you brat? As if that wasn't enough, he was lifting Chungmyeong up and turning him around in the air. I'm getting dizzy! You cute brat! Hyunsang cried out with tears in his eyes. Sect leader, we succeeded! Right. It's true. Hyunjong, who was the sect leader, couldn't help but feel the rush of emotions that hit him. He looked at the pot and then looked up. Oh, ancestors, we finally got it till here. Are you watching us? An unknown emotion flooded through him. It is all thanks to that guy who showed up. He couldn't imagine Mount Hua looking like this if not for Chungmyeong, whom his ancestors had sent. No, perhaps even the name of Mount Hua wouldn't have survived. Thinking like that, he felt a chill run down his spine. It was at the moment when Hyunjong was about to say something. No, now isn't the time for this. Hyunyoung was pushed by Chungmyeong. Don't you know what the world is like? Don't party already. Do it right. You can only enjoy it when the pills go into your mouths. Right. Move. Okay. The elders hurriedly rushed to the pot and tilted their heads. To whom are they listening to now? Move. Okay. It seems like it was Chungmyeong.